Yo guys, while editing this video, I figured out this video is honestly, I'm not kidding, this is the best scaling video on the whole YouTube. You want to learn how to run Facebook ads? This is worth hundreds of $1,000s. I give it all completely for free, so the only thing I want for you guys, go down, drop a subscribe at least if you like it, and like this video, get it 250 likes. Yo, what's going on guys? I'm the Ecom boss, and in today's video, I'm gonna give you guys a free complete Facebook ad tutorial. So, for all of you guys, you buy a course, you pay for all this stupid stuff. Honestly guys, in this video, I'm gonna give you guys a free Facebook ad course that will definitely work you. I'm not gonna call it a course, but I'm definitely gonna teach you guys from testing a product to scaling a product to testing your different creatives on Lookalike Audiences and everything. So in this video, it's not gonna be a free 30-minute consulting call giveaway winner because my phone is currently charging, but they will be announced too in the next video. But also, if you stick until the end, and I will be checking, and you also like this video in comments, I'm gonna give $30 to one of you guys watching that you could use to spend on a product or whatever. And $30 is probably not gonna get you success in one product, but anyways, you want to win it, you just drop a comment right here down here and you watch the whole video through. And without further ado, into the video we go. So for the coaching this month, you want to get into the coaching, man, it's been a huge success, or girl. So if you want to get in, message me on Instagram right here now, and if you're serious, maybe you'll be added. I don't know, we'll definitely see. But without further ado, let's just get into the beginning of the video. So you guys might ask, where have the Ecom boss been? And guys, honestly, I've been like really focused on my coaching right now, and also been running my other stores, and I also try to level up a little bit in my own life. I started working out a lot. I used to be in good shape back in the day, so right now I've just had to take a little break to focus on my own health, to be honest, like up inside my own head. But I'm definitely feeling super good. I'm pumped to get on YouTube. We're gonna go daily uploads again, so guys, please don't forget me. We're totally back. This stuff's gonna be so cool. So without further ado, now we're actually gonna start. Okay, I'll bring you guys this on my computer. Wow guys, wow, what did I just make? This thing is spectacular. Anyways, this is the Facebook ad scaling blueprint for all of you guys. You're not gonna pay anything, so without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go over a little bit of boring stuff. Please just hang on with me, guys. Please hang on and go down, drop a like. We're just gonna be 2 minutes of me showing you guys how to test, basically. And in this thing, I'm gonna show you guys right now. Look over all of these notes down here, guys, on my left of the screen here. This is cool. This is cool. It's going to be the blueprint by creative scalings, lookalike audiences, my own CBO strategy, and we're also going to analyze some ad sets in there that's just for the testing phase. But now we're just going to stick to the scaling, and I'm going to show you guys how to test first, and then we'll get into the scaling. This is how we test, guys. And this I wrote with $5 just to make it realistic for you guys. But highly though, I definitely do recommend running $10 ads. This whole strategy is going to be based around $10 ads. Right now I'm just pulling up an old testing strategy, but you can make it work with $5 a day ads too. But highly recommend doing $10 a day, because you're probably gonna spend the same regardless. Okay, so when you test, you do one campaign. I'm just gonna make this quick. When you test, I have a video on testing. I can link it down if you really want to. But when you are testing, one campaign and 7 ad set strategy. Probably heard of it before. You're gonna run one campaign that equals 7 ad sets, and in each ad set in that campaign, you're gonna have different interests. That means one interest only in each ad set, right? Once the ad set is made, you click it and then you duplicate it and you change the interest only. So which means you make ad set, and it's probably the interest is Netflix. Now you duplicate it and you put in other interest until you have 7 different ad sets, and then you can run it for $5 a day or $10 a day. I highly recommend running $10 a day. If you're running at 5, it's going to be $35 a day, and if you're running at 10, it's going to be $70 a day. But still, a $5 a day ad set should run for 48 hours, which means it's going to be $10 in at the end each ad set anyways. And a $10 ad set you could run for 24 to 30 hours, so you're going to spend approximately the same anyway. So I'd highly recommend getting those $10 ad sets, because it's going to make it easier to get 3 sales in an ad set when you're going to scale, and we'll get into that in a second, guys. When you're starting out, just leave age, genders, male and female, unless it's, you know, a gender related product. But even in that case, you could still just run it men and women if you want to. But just a moral of the story, guys, just leave it broad. Okay, and then you make a page post, you put a bit.ly link in, and that bit.ly is going to be a product page. If you don't know what a bit.ly link is, basically just shortening down your link. So you go to bit.ly.com, get a bit.ly link, so you could shorten down your product description. No, not your product description, but your page post a tiny bit. It's going to look way cleaner. Then grab the page post ID, you just paste it in the ads. You guys just see it when you follow up. And now I'm going to show you guys the countries to exclude. I'm not gonna spend time here, guys. Just go down, open your phone, take a screenshot, whatever. Just make sure you get a picture of this. You always can look at it. You're gonna run your products worldwide, and that means you include it worldwide, and then you're gonna exclude these specific countries. And now I think we just move on. Here we go, guys. Here's the blueprint. The first step to scaling, the first steps. How a successful test looks. That's what we're going to go over in the beginning, because you're not going to be able to scale if you don't have a successful test, right? And it all comes down to the product. Obviously, this is not a product research video. I already got that. You could check it out. But when you're going to scale, it obviously requires a good product. So the first step to scaling is to get multiple ad sets to 2+6. So a successful test could look like this. Multiple ad set, got like 2+ sales, could be 3, whatever. My ideal one though, which I like to see of the results, but it could obviously be different, is 3 sales in 1 ad set. That's ideal. This is what you want for scaling, honestly, to be completely honest. But, you know, a good product usually pops off if you use my strategy. And what I'm saying when I mean like 50-50 here, is that with my strategy, at least if you follow my strategy in the coaching, whatever, my strategy is usually like either the product completely flops or it works. But the ratio is good though. 1 in 3 or 1 in 5 is a winner, which means, I mean, you make your money back pretty quick. But anyways though, it's not like we're trying to force anything to work, getting it like 1 sale or 2 sales. No, either it just pops off or it flops. That's the best way of doing it, because it pops off. It's always the profitable winner, right? But the ideal thing to get when you're testing a product is to get 3 sales in an ad set, because then you could duplicate it from $10 a day to $25. Just like I said down here, guys, when you get 3 sales in 1 ad set, you duplicate it and increase the budget from $10 to $25, and it will in almost every case pop off and do super well. I've honestly almost never seen it fail. And that is the first step to scaling, just duplicating from $10 a day to $25. If you're doing $5, you could duplicate from 5 to 10. So this is the beginning of scaling, guys. Duplicating budgets and pulling triggers. You got to pull the triggers at the right time. It's super important on Facebook, okay? But after your first $25 duplicate, it should make some profit, like I say down here. Your goal now is to get multiple different interests into a 3 sale ad set in order to make it more $25 ads. That means you want to have one of your ad sets, which means obviously one of your interests, to 3 sales each, so you could get them up from $10 a day to $25 a day. So this obviously means, like I say down at the bottom, this obviously means you want to add in 1 or 2 new interests daily. Sometimes you might even add in 5 daily. It depends on whatever you guys want to do. But your goal, because you're going to get into CBOs, and like I said down there, CBO, that's the step after the boring phase, which is milking. You're just milking up onto the CBOs. But in the CBO, that phase requires you to have 3 to 5 ad sets with 7 sales each in order to run CBOs. And if you're going to get 3 to 5 sales in an ad set and you run 7 ad sets for $10 a day, most likely 3 or 5 of them are not going to pop off. You're probably going to have 1 or 2 ad sets. This means it's super important to make sure you add in 1 new interest every single day in order to get prepared for the CBOs, because there will always be a better interest out there. And if you're only going to rely on your first 7 testing interests, it's probably going to be a hard time, right? So make sure you add in new interest every single day when you're scaling to make the CBO phase come quicker or to come at all. And this doesn't matter if it's $10 ad sets, 25, it could still be the same interest as well. Whatever the budget is on the ad set, the interest or whatever, just make sure you get 3 to 5 of them to 7 sales. You can put them in the CBO. But I always say though, it's always better if the ad sets has different interest when you're putting it into a CBO. But I mean, it could work regardless. Maybe not like 4 of the same interest, but if 2 is the same interest and 2 are completely different, that is okay. And now I'm just going to analyze the test. This test from like 2019 or something. Yeah, it's early 2020 actually. So I did a test. This was one guy in the coaching. I don't know. I just found a screenshot because I just refreshed my computer, so I have nothing on this. So this is the only screenshot I had, but it's perfect for this situation. So now we're going to analyze his test. So for some reason, it says with $15 ads. He had not talked to me. We're going to get on the call. I don't know why I didn't meet up. So he did $15 ads, which is strange. First of all, though, his reason for doing 15 ads was because he was relaunched the product. This product already made 6 figures for him. So what he did now was he just relaunched for $15 because he knew it was going to work. But anyways, just think that it's a $10 ad set because normally it is a $10 ad set, okay? So this ad set, Dermatology 15, we'll just call it Dermatology $10. This one now has 5 sales. So what he's going to do now, he probably should have done it already though, because when it crosses 3 sales, you duplicate it. But you see this one down here on my mouse here, it's 5 sales, it's running at $10 a day. We say $10 a day. It's running at $10 a day for 5 sales. And when he gets to 3 sales, but let's just say now he's on 5 sales, what we're going to do with this ad set is we're going to duplicate Dermatology 10. We're going to duplicate it and then put in a new budget. It's going to be 25 a day because it has more than 3 sales. We've got one other down here as well. It's called Cleanser and it's a 2 sales. So our goal now is to get Cleanser to 3 sales as well. So we can duplicate Cleanser into a $25 a day ad set. When you duplicate, leave the original one running until the new one makes ton of sales for a long time. But I don't really even turn on the original one. Just don't turn it off. It's optimizing from the original one. Just never make changes unless you're duplicating, guys. You always duplicate for change, right? Here you guys can see example of simple $25 duplicates. If you just look at my mouse down here. So first of all, we have facial up here. Facial is at 3 sales, and you guys know what we're gonna do now. I know it's getting repetitive, but it's gonna be last part before we get into scaling here. So facial is at $10 a day, and it has 3 purchases. So what he did, or what I told him to do, you guys will see this thing that gets in the way. But what I told him to do, facial is 3 sales. Okay, I told him duplicate it and increase the budget to 25. So he duplicated facial, and now it's down here for $25 a day. And we also have beautiful skin, and we have natural skincare, they're also at $3 a day. So what I would do with them, I'd duplicate them and increase the budget to 25. Now, CBO time. So the CBO time, like I said, the only thing you're going to be doing from the part I just showed you until CBOs is just to milk and add in new interest daily. You're just milking a cow, guys. You just have to wait until it's about time. That's how we do. You don't make any $50 ad set. You just wait until CBO time. And this could happen quick if you just add in ad sets every single day. Your goal after those $25 duplicates is to wait for ad set to reach 7 sales each ad set. The 3 to 5. That means when I have 3 to 5 ad sets, that's made like 7 sales plus. And now I'm going to just explain what a CBO is. A CBO is a feature on Facebook. It means campaign budget optimization. So normally you could put in a budget on each different ad. I'm sure you guys probably already know it. But on each ad set, you could choose how much money you want to spend. You want to spend $10 on an ad set and you make 5 ad sets. That's $50 in total. It's 10 times 5. You just could put in the budget you want on different ads. But in a CBO, you don't do that. A CBO, that means like you put in a budget for all of your ads. You don't have a specific budget in each ad set. You just, let's just say, give Facebook $100 and you have 7 ad sets. Now they're going to divide the $100 to the ads that they believe in. But you can't really do that without no data, right? So basically means you give Facebook the budget. They'll spend it on the ads that they like. They spend it on the ads that they think will create results and what's already doing good. Which means you might just spend $1 on a couple of ad sets while other gets spent $30 on. Facebook just decides what you want to do, and that's why CBO is powerful. But in order to do CBOs, normally at least, you should definitely have some data. Like I said down here, adding new interest daily will definitely boost your path to 3 to 5 ad sets with 7 sales, but I already covered that. So you're going to duplicate your 3 to 5, and this is how you make a CBO, guys. You're going to duplicate your 3 to 5 ad set with 7 plus sales into a new campaign and turn the CBO button on. The CBO button on is campaign budget optimization. You will see it when you go into the campaign part of creating the ads. So now you want to turn the CBO button on, and that means, guys, this is not advanced. You guys got this, okay? One ad set in a CBO equals $50. That means if you're running one CBO with 3 ad sets, it's going to be 50, 50, 50. $50 each ad set. That also means, guys, like I say down here, if you're running a 5 ad set CBO, it's going to be $250 because it's $50 times 5 because it's 5 ad sets. If you're running a 10 ad set CBO, it's obviously a 500, right? So CBO is vertical. I'm going to explain to you guys how you scale a CBO. Sorry guys, it's getting dark here now because I broke my lamp, like I said. But if you want to scale a CBO, you got to go down, drop a subscribe on this channel, and make sure you give this video a like. But on the CBOs, guys, CBO is vertical. This is super important to get down. So if a CBO does good, you just double the budget. You have a $150 CBO, it's doing good. If you don't want it to die out after a couple of days, because it usually dies out, just duplicate the CBO and you double the budget. CBO is vertical. You double budget, double budget. What you also can do is, let's just say you used to run an 8 ad set CBO for $400. What you could also do is vertical, but you probably didn't think of it. So you run 8 ad sets for $400 CBO. Now what you could do, you could cut the 4 worst ones and you could only run 4 ad sets for the same budget. It's $400 a day, but now we're only running 4. That means you honestly, you did double the budget because you cut half of it, which makes you gonna spend the last half on less ad sets. So I'll make sure I'll say one more time just in case you guys didn't get it. You have 8 ad sets. They're running at $400 a day in a CBO, and if you want to spend more money on the working ad set, you cut the 4 worst ones, 50% of them, but you still run a $400 CBO, which means it's obviously going to be more to remaining ad sets. It's actually doing good. So that's also how you can make CBO duplicates without being too vertical. If you didn't understand it, just watch it again. It is a little bit complex, but that's exactly how I would do it. And then from the rest, guys, honestly, you just double budgets and you just, get rid of what's not working, spend more money on what's working and stuff like that. But CBO is not everything. You should definitely scale in normal campaigns too. Now I'm going to go over a couple of basic scaling tips, but I'm going to teach you guys how to reach different segments of the audience, new people, new customers inside the audience. That means inside the interest. Because when you make a $10 ad set, you duplicate it to 25, what happens when you vertical scale is most likely, or in most cases, Facebook will keep targeting the percentage out of the audience size that worked from scratch when you started testing it. So they will just focus on a certain percentage out of the audience size. Let's just say it's 600 million as the size. They will only focus on 2% out of the 600 million that's most qualified to buy. So you will probably not find new customers in that audience because you're just duplicating, increasing the budget. And that means you're going to use up your 2 or 5% of the audience that actually work. So in order to find new people in the same audience, in the same interest, you just make a lot of $10 duplicates. That's horizontal scaling. So if you were going to make a $50 duplicate, you will reach the same people like you did in a $25 duplicate. So instead of making a $50 duplicate on Facebook for $50 a day, you can make 5 $10 ad sets, and that means you're starting from scratch again. And now you have 5 ad sets with the same interest, but it's not running at 50 a day. It's running 5 ad sets times 10, and that's the same as $50 a day. But now you're restarting it. You're from scratch again with the same interest, and those 5 ad sets for 10 a day will now find new people inside the audience you probably have not seen before, and then you haven't, you found new people in the audience. Your product will probably not die out this early, right? And then you could go back to increasing the budget on them to $25, because this is the thing. Every ad set is different. When Facebook is optimized, they're not going to look for new people. They're going to look for sort of like the same people. So it's super important to reach different segments of the audience by duplicating like multiple $10 a day ad sets. I really find that to work. If you want to keep more sales from the exact same audience, you're just going to be vertical. Duplicate and increase the budget. At a certain point, it will die out. Time to introduce new interests or do the horizontal scaling I just told you guys by making $10 ad sets. Ad fatigue. In ad fatigue, 2 tips are powerful. First one is to horizontal scale. Just like I told you guys, you make $10 duplicates all the time. And the second one is creative scaling. Now, you guys have heard me say this before, but I'm going to cover creative scaling super quick here. It's not going to be long because it's quite simple, honestly. When you're creative scaling, you are making page posts on your Facebook. If you don't know what a page post is, just Google it. It's super simple. But when you are creative scaling, you have to introduce new creatives. That means new videos, pictures, whatever. So what you're going to do now, you're going to duplicate let's just say you duplicate your 3 best ads with the most sales or the best ROAS into a new campaign. And what you're going to do in these 3 ads is make sure it's in a new campaign though. You're going to put like 10 pictures and 10 videos under it. And then you're going to see which picture or which video brings in sales to your best ad sets in a new campaign. And then you will now start to see which creative, which video, which picture that's bringing in most of the sales, and that will then allow you to bring the best creative, the best picture, let's just say, or the best video. You could now see that one generate 3 sales while the other ones didn't generate anything, and you now generate more money than you used to with your new creatives. Now what you can do, you could take that creative and put it back into your old campaign. When should you run $50 ad sets? Because I told you guys, when you make 3 sales in a $10 ad set, you duplicate it to 25. But that does not mean when you make 6 sales in a 25, you duplicate it into a $50 ad set. Normally though, I don't really do too many 50 in one campaign. I might probably do 250 out of like 30 ad sets. But if you're gonna make a $50 ad set, honestly, I truly do recommend having like 15 to 20 to even 30 purchases before making a $50 one. Because a $50 ad set could be completely different than a 25 one. So I just say, if you're gonna make $50 ad set, get a lot of sales before we move into that. Also, when to kill and scale ads. So I have a video on that as well. You can check it out. But if you want to get the short formula here on when to kill and scale ads, it means if an ad spends 10 to 20% more than the budget, the daily budget with no sales, I usually cut it. That means if a $10 ad set spends $12, you could cut it. I would probably cut that at 15 though. And if a $25 ad set spends $30, you can cut it. A $50 ad set spends 60, you can cut it. You just keep going like that, right? But on a CBO needs more time. On a CBO, if you have a CBO running for $200 a day, it will pop off when you spend 50. It will probably make 0 sales, and then the second you hit $50, it's just gonna explode and make 10 sales. So always be patient with your CBOs, guys. And like I said, guys, 3 sales in one ad set that's running for $10 a day always mean a $25 duplicate, but obviously leave the original one running, right? This is a short one. Only pull the trigger once or twice a day, please. Just because you get 3 sales in ads, it does not mean you should scale it right now if you already did it. Scaling only happens once or twice a day, and some people even do it once or twice a week. So make sure when you're gonna schedule ads, you always ask me, should I schedule? You should not really schedule when you're testing, but when you're scaling, you could, for example, say, I'm gonna change my ads 12 p.m. I'm going to change my ads 12 a.m. And then you do that every day because you don't want to do so many weird stuff to your pixel all the time. You want to give Facebook time to optimize, right? Some people even give 3 days to optimize. So just make sure, guys, only change once or twice a day at the same time every single day when you make changes in your ads. Facebook ads is broad now. I'm going to explain, guys. Don't narrow things down anymore. I talked a little bit about this in the beginning. You could narrow down towards countries, but the thing is, when you run a lookalike audience, which is LLAs, when you run an LLA, you're going to pick out a percentage out of one specific country, for example, the United States. So you're going to pick out 1 to 10% out of the United States that looks more like your similar customers. And that's basically a country breakdown. So there's not point breaking anything down. You could break down to country, but like I said, LLAs basically is a country breakdown. Just a little bit different, right? So just don't do anything like that. It's no point breaking down anymore. It's kind of all. It was like early 2019 type of strategy. And now leave it broad. All genders, if it's a gender specific product, you could narrow it down to gender, but I usually just do it broad. All genders, 18 to 65 in ages, mobile, desktop, all of that, iPad, whatever. One thing that I would change, which some people don't change either, but I tend to change this, is you only want to run your ads on Instagram and Facebook feed only, because the feeds are a way to catch attention. Lookalike audiences, interesting topic. I have a video on it because it's quite advanced. So if you want to learn how to run lookalikes, you can check out my video. Go into Shopify and click export your customer emails to CSV files. You basically go into orders. There's going to be a button at the left corner where you can just click export orders to CSV file. And then when you export it, you're going to go to custom audiences. Like you get a little spreadsheet or Google, you get an Excel document where you have all your orders and emails and everything. Then go to custom audiences on Facebook and upload the email list. 100 sales is required for LLA, so you're not going to make a custom LLA audience before you have 100 sales. By the way, if you guys ask for retargeting, I don't do retargeting. It's not long term, it sucks. The only way to do retargeting is you need extra $400, you can launch retargeting. It won't give you any long term data or anything, so I just tend to avoid it. And like I see as well, spending $1,000 a day on ads, what's the point of spending 40 on retargeting as well? Anyway, still, you're going to run lookalikes, you got to get 100 sales before you run LLAs. Usually though, I just wait until 300 because I'm busy scaling, but I'd say definitely get 100 sales before you run lookalikes. That's like completely needed. Do LAs in this order. First of all, you do view content or video views, depending on if you're running picture ads or if you're running the other one, videos. And then once the video views or view content starts popping off, making a lot of sales after a couple of days, you can now move into add to cart LAs. I probably have 250 to 300 purchases before that. Once you get like 400 purchases, you can move into initiate checkout, and then you can move into purchase lookalike audiences when you're at like 500 to 600 sales. Purchase LAs, like I said, requires 600 sales. Could do it to 500, but I'd probably just say 600. And they're powerful, but they're not like before. Most of your money now will actually be made through scaling. Launch 1 to 5 lookalikes from scratch. That's a percentage. So when I say launch a 1% lookalike, that means you're going to target the 1% out of the United States or Canada, whatever, that looks similar to your past customer. So if I say you're going to launch a 10% lookalike versus a 1% lookalike, what's going to be more accurate? What do you guys think? 1% lookalike would probably be more accurate than a 10%, because it's the 1% out of the States, for example, that looks most like your previous customers, while a 10% could basically be everyone. And in lookalike, I usually run a $25 a day each. I don't run any CBOs. I've seen it work though. I've tried it, but I usually don't really run it in CBOs. Most want to be made by finding new interests and scaling normally with CBO, but you could also scale perfectly fine without CBO. And that's gonna be it, guys. I hope you guys find it powerful. At least I try. And here it says my camera is blocking, guys, but it says last step to make good money with Facebook ads. Subscribe, go down, subscribe to this channel, drop a like on this video, and definitely you gotta watch how I dropped out of school to make 100K a month. The link to that video is in the description. You guys struggle with motivation, you want to see how a loser just ended up succeeding with this. I'm talking about myself. You can watch out how I dropped out of school to do this thing. And I'll link that video in the description. If you watch it though, watch it all the way through, drop a like. Anyways, guys, I love all of you guys. You're awesome, guys. You are really awesome. There is also a link to my free Facebook group. It won't cost anything. I don't sell anything. So if you guys want to get into that, or not sell anything, I have a coaching program, but that's basically it. But that's more sort of to make an impact. So if you want to join the free Facebook group, I'm going to answer some of you guys' questions. We can do some live streams in there, and that's going to be it, guys. So hopefully you like this video. Remember to like, share, subscribe. If you have any friends with scaling, send them over the video and make a comment. You watch all the way through. So thanks for watching, guys, and you'll be seeing me tomorrow.